6 pieces of gear. These are the things I reach for every time I film content for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever platform. Because the thing is, when you're filming yourself on social media, you're basically doing 5 jobs at once. You're the person on camera, you're setting up the shot, you're checking audio, you're making sure the lighting doesn't look terrible, and hoping everything's actually recording. And the gear question always comes up a lot. What do I actually need to get started filming? So today I'm gonna walk you through 6 pieces of gear that I use consistently. Some of them help with audio, some of them help with lighting, and some of them honestly just make this whole damn process less annoying. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name's Denzil and I've been filming for almost 10 years now. I filmed fitness, fashion, products, music videos, all before I started filming myself. And honestly, filming myself was the hardest job out of all of them. But I have learned a lot since then and currently have a growing community of over 70,000 across social media. So if you're starting out or you're trying to figure out what gear is worth having, hopefully this video helps. Let's lock in. The first piece of gear we're gonna cover is the tripod. Arguably the most important piece of gear when filming yourself, because you need something that's gonna hold your camera steady and stay exactly where you put it. And honestly, a lot of cheap tripods just don't do that. They wobble, they drift, or their head loosens mid-filming. The tripod I'm using is from Manfrotto. It's stable, it doesn't move around, and the head stays tight, which means I can frame my shot perfectly, hit record and trust nothing's gonna shift on me. And the other thing you wanna look out for is tripods with a quick release play. So you can take the camera off, check something, and snap it back on in like 3 seconds. This saves you hella time. And not only that, it can flip into portrait mode. So I can go from filming YouTube videos to Instagram Reels seamlessly. But currently, this tripod I'm using right now costs around £195 on Amazon. Look, I know, it's not the cheapest, okay? But I went through 4 or 5 tripods before this one. And I've been using this for the last 5 years, so I've gotten great mileage out of it. And a quick side note, I will be linking all the gear mentioned down below with budget-friendly options as well. Okay, so don't panic. When you hear that, don't panic. Everybody gonna eat, okay? The second piece of gear is a zoom lens. I use the Tamron 28-75mm, but anything with a decent zoom range will run, okay? And here's why this matters. So when you're filming yourself, you're not behind the camera adjusting things between shots. So having a zoom lens means you can get different looks, wide, medium, close up, without physically having to move the camera or swapping lenses. Like yesterday, for example, I filmed a video and I started at 28mm for the wide shot, okay? Then I zoomed into 50mm for more of the talking head parts, and then I pushed right into 75 to get some detailed close-ups. So if I had a prime lens like a 50mm that doesn't zoom, I'd have to either move the camera every single time or physically get closer to the camera myself, which just kind of breaks the flow and the immersion when you're filming. This lens that I purchased was back in 2019 and it barely leaves my camera body. It's just so damn versatile. And when you're filming yourself solo, versatility matters more than perfect sharpness every single time. And to be honest with you, unless you're a pixel peeper, you can't really see the difference. You can't. It's too good. So the third piece of gear is the ND filter. This one's a little bit more technical, but stay with me. We're gonna fly right through this. So when you're filming, especially if you're near a window or it's a bright day, but you still want that blurry background look, right? Well, that usually comes from shooting at a wide aperture of 1.8 or 2.8, etc. But the problem is, if it's too bright, your image gets blown out, like completely overexposed, and you can't use it. So your options are either 1, start changing your settings, like your aperture, but now you're just messing with the whole cinematic vibe you had going on, okay? Or 2, you can use an ND filter. An ND filter is basically sunglasses for your lens. It cuts the light so you can keep your aperture wide open if you wanted to, and your image correctly exposed at the same time. I choose a variable ND for the same reason I choose a zoom lens. It's versatile. I can tweak it depending on how bright it is outside or inside, and that is just really, really handy. So the fourth piece of gear is, you guessed it, microphone. Okay, so audio is one of those things that people either obsess over or completely ignore. But to be honest with you, if your audio sucks, people will just click off your video. Like, they will tolerate like an average looking video, but not bad audio. okay? This is a wireless mic, which means I can clip it on, move around, and the audio stays clean. No cables, no worrying about staying close to the camera. And the reason I like this one specifically, it's got decent noise cancelling, it's quick to charge, and the form factor is so small and neat. And a bonus for me is that the DJI Mic Mini pairs so well with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is great for capturing content on the go. You can grab one plus a receiver for around under £50 at the time of this video, okay? Which is really good considering the quality you get from these things. Now, if you want internal recording, you can always grab the DJI Mic 2 instead. Yeah, it's a bit more pricey, but it also has more features like the 32-bit flow as well. All right, so the fifth piece of gear is a softbox modifier. I personally use an octobox myself, but any softbox in the 80 to 120 centimeter range works. Okay, so this is what shapes your light. Now, without a modifier, your light would be really, really harsh and you'd get harsh shadows and it's just not flattering on camera. With a softbox, the light gets diffused. It wraps around your face, softens the shadows and makes you look that much better on camera. Now, I use a 90 centimeter octobox. It collapses down really quick for storage and it sets up in like 2 minutes or less. And by now you can start to see there's a running few minutes video. Convenience, okay? So a thing to note is the size though. It's important because if it's too small, it doesn't really diffuse the light enough. Now you want it big enough to actually soften things. We have made it to the last piece of gear on this list, the key light. Okay, now I'm using the Nanlite FS300C. And the reason I like this one is because it's just powerful enough to work even when there's some sunlight coming through the window. So I can film at noon or 6 p.m. and as long as this light is on, my footage always looks the same. Consistency matters when filming solo, okay? And it's also bicolor, which means that I can adjust the warmth. So I can make it cooler or warmer depending on the environment I'm in. Really useful. And it has RGB colors as well. Once again, people, versatility, okay? Now, okay, yeah, it's the most expensive piece of gear on this list, but it's the one that makes the biggest difference to how my footage looks. And with a softbox that I mentioned earlier, this setup just gives you that soft, professional look. Not harsh, not flat, just clean. Quick thing before I wrap this up. If you're watching this and you've got the gear side sorted, but you're still trying to figure out what to actually film or how to organize your content, I just built something for you, okay? Something that might help. It's called the Creators Command Center. Now, it's basically a Notion template that takes all the content planning stuff, brand positioning, your 3 pillars, content ideas, filming checklist, editing checklist, and puts it all in one place. Now, I made this because I was tired of having my strategy just scattered everywhere. Now, it's all in one system. So if that sounds useful, there's a link in the description. But let's finish up with how these 6 pieces actually work when you're filming. So these are the 6 pieces I use pretty much every time I film. Tripod, zoom lens, ND filter, DJI Mic Mini, softbox, and the key light. And look, I'm not saying you need all 6 of these by tomorrow, okay? But if you're filming yourself for social media and you're trying to figure out what actually matters in the process, these are the things that make the process easier and your content look better. Now, the tripod keeps your camera stable. The zoom lens gives you flexibility. The ND filter lets you shoot in bright conditions. The mic makes sure your audio is crispy. And the softbox and key light make sure you're lit properly. Now, as I mentioned, I will link all of these in the description for you to check out yourself. All right, that's the gear I use. Hopefully that helps if you're trying to figure out what's worth investing in. And if this was useful, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe while you're there, because that will help me know what content to make more of in the future. And if you wanna see how I actually use all this stuff to film a video from start to finish, let me know in the comments and I can add that to my list. As always, I will see you. I said I will see you in the next one. Peace and love every single time, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Denz. Peace.